Okay, what I'm going to show you today is some maintenance work on dryers and another segment on washers. Like anything else, you've got to use proper safety precautions. Here's some here, for example, here's hearing protection. We'll be using a leaf blower in some of the segments, and it makes a lot of noise. Dust protection. With the leaf blower, it kicks up a lot of dust, and even when you're working with a vacuum or digging around, you could pick up a lot of lint in the air. So best to use lung protection. Eye protection, safety glasses would be a good thing to use. We find using a headlight, either this low-cost one or this fancy schmancy one, which my son got me, which has got a battery in the back. And, these work great to be able to see what you're doing. But even wearing it on your head, you'll find there'll be times where you'll take it off and use it to move it around inside the dryer to see what you're doing. Anything I'm showing you is my own experience. I'm not a journeyman. I have no formal education in this area. It's just stuff I picked up through the years on my own and watching other YouTube videos. So you're watching this with no warranty or liability of any kind. This is a Frigidaire stackable washer dryer, and to get the panel off for the dryer, we had to go in here with a Phillips screwdriver and undo these two screws which hold the dryer onto this mounting plate. And what we discovered is you undo the screw, and then you pretty well got to use a screwdriver with a magnet to pull that screw out, because the cover plate that was sitting here goes right up to the edge here, so it's kind of a pain. And once we took those two screws out, we still couldn't get the cover plate off, and we discovered that the cover plate is held on by two other screws here and over here. So what we had to do was to get one person to lift the dryer up slightly so we could get a screwdriver in, because there was a metal cover plate which went right down to this surface here. So we had one person hold the dryer up slightly while the other guy took out those two screws. And we checked before we did that to make sure that by lifting up the dryer, nothing was going to get wrecked back here, and nothing did. Then we went to the washer, because we thought the washer would have a clean out, like a lot of front load washers do, but Frigidaire decided you don't need one. So there is their setup in there. You've got a rubber something where the wash water comes down into, goes into the pump, and then goes out the eject hose. So I don't think that's a very good setup, because if something never makes its way out of the drum, I guess it's going to end up in here. To get this cover plate off, another fun thing, they had these screws very close to the metal cover, and what we had to do over on this side was pry up the washer, because I guess you can see the foot here to make the washer level. This foot's very short compared to this foot. So here I was able to get the screwdriver in, but over here we had to use a crowbar and pry up the washer so that I could get that screw out. And then we go and discover that there's nothing in here. It's like crap. But we will be able to vacuum out the paper towel and get ourselves a loonie out of the process. So that's not too bad. Inside the dryer, we see this is, I believe it's is it 12-year-old, John?
Yes.
12-year-old dryer, so that's 12 years of lint in there that we're going to vacuum out with the vacuum. And can you pull that thing out there, John?
Yeah.
That thing, oh, there it is. Is it a little lever? Okay, we're going to push this. Yeah. And here, what they had, someone had been putting too much soap in, by the looks of things, given the amount of soap here. And so we're going to clean all that up. And then inside here, you can see some black mold, which we're going to get at with a bottle brush and some Javix. And then the drawer itself, hang on, John. Yeah. The drawer itself, we're also going to clean all that out. One way you can do it is just put it in your dishwasher, and that'll clean it off. So, what else? Oh yeah, we discovered that the dryer light was burned out, and we're able to pop off the little cover for the light, which on this dryer is mounted up to the top just behind the door. And the bulb itself, have you got the bulb, John?
Yes.
Okay.
Right there.
Like anything else, they decided to use a special bulb, which is this little guy, which we're trying to find at an appliance store. It looks like a nightlight bulb, but apparently those won't work. So you have to go and get this special bulb. And there is a part number on the bottom of the bulb that says, can't see what it says, something 7. But in any case, if you bring the bulb plus the model number of the dryer into a repair shop, they'll be able to get you the bulb. We took the drawer apart on the washing machine, and it's amazing where all the mold goes into every little nook and cranny. There's still a little bit there, but for the most part it's gone. Typical with these drawers are they're composed of 2 or 3 pieces that come apart. So like this piece, it took 2 of us to do it because we didn't want to break it. So we had one guy prying on here while the other guy pulled down on this end to pull this off the bottom. Whereas this piece was fairly easy, it just fit in, which are, well, I guess it goes this way, yeah. So you just put it in. It even says here, remove to clean, so there you go. Press to lock, so I guess it's supposed to lock in, but, oh yeah, it did, okay. So anyway, so far we've taken just a big shop vac to the inside of this thing, and it's looking a lot better. We also went around the back. You can see, can you see from here? Oh, hang on. Around the back there was an air grill, and so we went around the back and cleaned that as well. So inside the dryer there's a moisture sensor, which what we've done, because we want to run the dryer with the leaf blower going, so we disconnected the leads and taped them over and made sure they're not touching the drum in any way. And down in the chute here is the lint that we're going to be trying to get at. We're first going to try using the that flexible crevice tool, but my guess is it won't get to it all. That's where I like to go after it with the leaf blower. So there's the dryer outlet before we begin the shop vacuum.
So you can see on the motor there's some lint that hopefully the leaf blower is going to take care of. And there's some at the back there as well. I'm going to try and get that by hand before we begin blowing. So we've used the brush attachment to clean the drum, which had lint all the way around it, and went all over the place with the crevice tool with the vacuum to clean off the bottom.
Okay, so we're going to do the leaf blower. We've, as I mentioned, ensured that these 2 wires, which are the moisture sensor, are not going to hit the drum. We're going to bring the leaf blower in just to the outer edge here to go into this slot, because we couldn't get to the lint that's down in there with the crevice tool. We've cleaned out inside the dryer as much as we could, because we're going to go in this area here with the leaf blower to dislodge any remaining lint, and of course it's going to come flying out, which is not good. We've got our face masks on. Turn the power back on for the dryer. In order to run the drum, we'll be holding the door interlock button in.
Right.
Why? Well, except I'll be over here, and you'll be over here. So you go over here.
Okay.
So we'll be holding this door interlock button in, and then turning whatever to make the dryer start to turn.
Yeah.
And then we will fire up the leaf blower to blow in this slot here. So now that we leaf blowed it, we look in here and we can't see the lint that was there before. We'll now turn off the dryer again and take a look
at the motor. There wasn't a lot of lint that came out, which is good. Means that well, there's still lint sitting on the motor. My guess is it's stuck there because of the oil that has leaked off the motor. So I may try going in there with a cloth and try and wipe it off. Whoops. Okay, so I reached in with a paper towel and was able to get some of the crap off of the motor surface. And we're going to use an air compressor to go in and see if we can blow more of it off. So a little bit of lint that came out, not much, but some. So it looked good, and then we noticed on the back screen here, which is covering the heating elements, that we could see bits of lint sitting there. So we took the leaf blower to that and blew out a bunch of lint that ended up in the dryer and also on the floor. So that's another spot where lint was obviously gathering. And now that I look inside the bottom, that lint got blown back underneath. So we got to clear that out again. One thing leads to another. So we cleaned out the soap dispenser area. He now uses those pods, so he doesn't really use this area anymore. But nonetheless, we cleaned it all out. And then when I was putting the drawer back in, it was snagging. And what I found was that this bottom piece here, whoops, there we go. This bottom piece had not been clicked in correctly when I put it back together. So now that it's clicked back together, it'll work fine.